Welcome to another RSR. Tonight we are predicting the third place game and the final of the 2023 Concacaf Caribbean Cup and the final of the 2023 Concacaf Central American Cup. Of course, being played over the next two midweeks. Next midweek, they play all three of these first leg matches. Then the next midweek, we play the second leg of the final. We hand out trophies, and hopefully we will have two suit games. But 2 suit days, 2 suit games. But I will tell you this, hopefully, they all, at least the finals, have matches that are, not over by leg two after the first leg. Hopefully. Third place, we can, especially since it's played with a final, we can be less worried about that. But, predicciones de la tres puesto partido y final de la Copa Caribeña de la Concacaf y predicciones de la final de la Copa Centroamericana de la Concacaf. Of course, in that third place game in the Caribbean, which we'll talk about first, we have Harborview FC versus Mocha FC, Jamaica versus Dominican. In the final of the Caribbean Cup, we have Cavalier FC of Jamaica versus Robin Hood, SV Robin Hood of Suriname. And then in the final of the Central American Cup, we have El Dialoalense versus Real Esteli. Of course, we'll start with talking about the Caribbean Cup because they have a third place and a final. And why would you say third place after a final or do third place last in a video like this? So let's start with the curtain jerker of this all. The third place game of the Caribbean Cup. Harborview FC versus Mocha FC. For me, in this situation, Mocha has been the best Dominican team in this tournament. Not just by my thoughts, but by how it's played out. I mean, Sabal turned out to be horrible. Pantoja, even worse. For me, at least in this tournament, for me, Mocha has taken this the most seriously. They've looked the best of the Dominican teams. And they got a bit unlucky to be out of this tournament overall, going into this final. They got a bit unlucky, I believe, and personally. I believe that they got a bit unlucky because in the end, you had Mocha who got the 1-0 win at home. They lost 1-0 over 90 minutes. In Suriname, they lost on penalties to Robin Hood, which I'm happy the Cinderella story's going on. I'm not saying I'm not happy about it. I'm not going to say I'm not happy about it. I want the Cinderella story to keep going. But Mocha, they played well in the semifinal. Sadly enough, speaking about semifinals, Harborview got slapped up. Harborview went and got slapped up by Cavalier. Cavalier won 5-0 on the road, no less, in Jamaica. Slapped them up and said, we don't have to do nothing in the second leg. They did nothing. 0-0, 5-0 aggregate. They waltz on through. If that's what's going to happen here, I think Mocha is the better team of the two. Mocha at least has kept their nerve throughout all their matches. Harborview has been very chaotic, and especially in that first leg of the semi. And then they could pull up a great performance, or they could pull up a bad performance. You have to have a good performance over 180 minutes to get this third place match and get that final ticket. What possibly could be the final ticket. Well, not the final ticket, it's the second to last, but the final Caribbean Central American ticket to the Champions Cup. You have to have a perfect performance over 180. Maybe they learned something when the semifinals happened. Maybe they're like, you know what? Yeah, we should have done better. We should play even 180 minutes. But even then, I still think Mocha's the better team. I think Mocha's going to win the third place tie and go into Champions Cup, the preliminary round, and be one of the last two teams to qualify. Whether it's a team who backfills that MLS spot for the MLS Cup champion who's already been in the tournament, or if it's a team who wins the MLS Cup and there's no backfill for that team because they weren't in the tournament already, which I think we're at a half and half stage where if we're at it, knowing the playoffs are starting again tomorrow, Sporting's not in, LAFC's not in, Seattle's in, Cincinnati's in, Philly's in, Columbus is in, Orlando, I think everybody in the East is in. Sporting and LAFC are the only ones who aren't in, so they have to win. Houston's in. Seattle's in. Cincy, Shield, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Well, actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 Leagues Cup. Open Cup. Yeah, so Sporting LAFC. So Sporting or LAFC win, there's no backfill, but that's still after the final in third place. So it would be the second to last ticket anyway. But everybody else is a backfill. But with that being said, that's a segue. That's a segue. Yeah, we're getting close to the end here, aren't we, for Concacaf this year. But with that being said, the final of the Caribbean Cup for the round of 16 berth and the trophy. We have Cavalier SC versus SV Robin Hood. We got a favorite versus a Cinderella here. And I think this is where the Cinderella run ends. Yes, Robin Hood's in the Champions Cup. Yes, they could have some epilogue to the Cinderella run in the Champions Cup, but I just don't see a team who won on aggregate 5-0 and all 5 of those goals happened in the first game. If Cavalier gets rolling, they are going to put Robin Hood to the sword. Yes, Richter's will be back. Good. Here's the problem, though. I don't think that'll be enough for Robin Hood. I think Cavalier has a lot more firepower. They've played really well in this tournament. They have a Golden Boot candidate on their team as well. Thomas, the Golden Boot candidate. I mean, seriously. He may be. I have to check again. He may already basically have wrapped it up after that 5-0. But with that being said, he's a candidate, that's for sure. Even if you wrap it up, you're still a candidate, I guess. So with that being said, for me, I think Cavalier wins this final. I think it's pretty obvious where this one's going. The first leg is in Suriname. Second leg is in Jamaica. I'm not saying they're going to do that again in Suriname, but I think in the end it's going to be a 5-2 win for Cavalier. I think Robin Hood will put up more of a fight, but I think Cavalier can smell the roses. But that's not going to hurt them. I think it's going to help them. The fact that they can smell the roses, they're going to be really pushed to win this trophy. And they can really smell those roses right now. So, they know they're the favorite, but I think that actually hypes them than hurts them. Sometimes it hurts you to know you're the favorite, but I don't think that's the case here. And then finally, the Central American Cup final, the big one. The one where we all are looking forward to. Us Concacaf sickos are looking forward to the Caribbean games, but everybody, well, still Concacaf sickos, but a lot more, and a little bit more casuals are looking forward to the El Dialawalense Real Esteli tie, which again, winner to the round of 16 and the trophy, the loser to the preliminary round of the Champions Cup, but they're already in. So they know they're going to be playing in February, or at least possibly. They just don't know where they'll be. I think the round of 16 is in March, so. Well, their league plays into February anyway. They start back in January, the Apertura Clausura, they play into February anyway. That's an MLS thing. But with that being said, for me, you have another favorite Cinderella tie here. You have the favorite Nalawalense, who made the CONCACAF League final last year, who's won a CONCACAF League before in 2021. They made last year's final. They made the last ever CONCACAF League final and lost to Olympia. And now they have made the inaugural Central American Cup final, which is kind of funny if you think about it, because the inaugural CONCACAF League final, Olympia was there, they won. Then, I think they played Santos Ewapales too. Yeah, it was Santos Ewapales. If I recall correctly. It was Santos Ewapales, Costa Rican team. Then, they played the final of CONCACAF League against another Central American team, but one who's won it before, in El Dialawalense, but Olympia won. Now, we have Alajuelense, who was in the last Central American Cup, or CONCACAF League final, being in the inaugural Central American Cup final, and Olympia got grouped. But, I don't know what I was trying to make out of that, what connection I was trying to make out of that. It's just weird that the team who won the first and last CONCACAF League finals, played a Costa Rican team. The team that lost the second one, which is the final of the old tournament, made the first final of the new tournament, and possibly could win it after being the runner-up the year before, which they should. I think that's my That's the thing I was making out of that. But with that being said, for me, I think El Diallo-Alense should win this tie. I think Real Estelí has been wonderful. The first leg is in Estelí. That is the good news for Estelí. They are hard to beat at home. They are very hard to beat at home. If they can control this tie, if they could win 2-0, 3-1, I really like their chances going into the second leg. If they only win 1-0, 1-1 draw, a 2-1 win, or they lose, I think this is Alajuelense's for the taking down in Alajuela. And I kind of see Alajuelense doing just enough to make sure. Now, if they win outright at Estelí, they're winning this tie. I don't care. I don't care what you say. Alajuelense wins in Estelí, they're winning this tie. They finally stop Estelí from drawing or winning at their house. They're going to win this tie. I don't know why they wouldn't if they do not win or draw. They still have a chance. Even if the win isn't as favorable or draw, they still have a chance down in Alajuela. But they have to control the tempo of the first leg. That is my big thing for Estelí. They have not lost at home. Not just this year, but it's been very... Like the last time was, 2017 in Concacaf competition? It's been a long time since Estelí has lost at home. That's my point. It's been a very long time. And if they don't lose at home, they should be within a shout. I'm not saying it's a ride home about, go cash the check. Alajuelense can still run you down depending on how that first leg goes. But if you control the first leg and win the first leg, you have a way better chance than you do if you draw or lose. You could still control with the draw, but then you're getting into some weedy territory. So that's just, I'm saying be careful in that case. You're getting into some weedy territory when it comes to playing this tie. Now, here's the big one. If they do either draw or lose, I think it's Alajuelense. It leans more Alajuelense, that projection meter. If they lose, it's Alajuelense. They could go cash that check. Alajuelense needs to keep this tight, whether it's a 2-1 loss, a draw, or something of that nature. You can't let it get to like 3-1 Estelí. Then you're playing with fire. And they tried to play with fire against Herediano, but my point being is I just don't see Alajuelense letting it get that bad. I think they do enough to either draw or lose by 1 at Estelí. They come back home. Speaking of home cooking, Alajuelense is very good at home. In Costa Rica, Moreira Soto is a hard place to play for an opponent. Unless you know how it is. I mean, Cartagena's play like crap there. Herediano did, but I guarantee you Estelí will, because they'll feel the pressure of the final. They'll feel the pressure of the fans. Alajuelense is going to get after it. I think in the end, Alajuelense is going to do enough to win the tie. I'm going to say 3-2 on aggregate for El Alajuelense. They will be your Central American champions, your inaugural Central American champions. So my predictions here are this. The inaugural Caribbean champion is Cavalier FC. Runner-up, Robin Hood. Third place, Mocha FC. And the team that's the odd one out will be Harborview in the Caribbean. And, of course, our inaugural champion in Central America will be El Alajuelense for this new tournament. I shouldn't say inaugural champion because I had the UNCAF Interclub Cup and then the Concacaf League. But this brand new tournament, this third iteration pretty much, it'll be Alajuelense, in my opinion. So, there you go. With that being said, if you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification once subscribed. Send some chats on the live streams. Comment on this video. Put us in play. Share with friends and family. All that great stuff. I shall see you tomorrow for 2 live watch-alongs. That being Orlando City versus Columbus Crew. Orlando City SC versus Columbus Crew. And then FC Cincinnati versus Philadelphia Union. We will review the FC Cincinnati-Philadelphia game of the two. And then on Sunday, of course, we will be live for Sporting Houston Dynamo versus Sporting Kansas City. And then Seattle Sounders versus LAFC. LAFC, Seattle will be the one we review. And then on Monday, we recap it all. And then we get ready on Tuesday. That's why I did this today. On Tuesday for 2 matches when it comes to the third place and the final. The first leg of the third place and final of the Central American, Caribbean, and Central American Cup. So there you go. And then, of course, on Thursdays, the second leg of the Caribbean final. Then, of course, Friday's off. Nothing on Friday. I think I'll just save that top 50, at least on this channel, for Christmas Eve. Be live for it. I think we probably should do that. Because I know if somebody wants something for Christmas, I probably ain't going to do no gingerbread house, but I'll at least do the top 50 songs, the 2023 list, and be able to discuss them. It probably should take about an hour, but that's a lot later. So with that being said, I'll see you tomorrow. Let's have some fun with those 2 games, and then, of course, the Western games the next day. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm riding them out. Peace. See you later.